In a film as eminently quotable as Coppola's The Godfather, perhaps only one line emerged solely from improvisation. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. He had his own childhood memories to draw this detail from. He remembered the specific white boxes that his father would bring home after work. That said, it was not Coppola who generated the line. Clemenza's take the cannoli line was an improvisation on the part of actor Richard Castellano, who portrayed him. The line became the favorite of many of The Godfather's cast and crew, including Michael Chapman, a cameraman who would later, as cinematographer, become famous for his work on Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, among other great films. While the history behind this little tidbit of Hollywood magic is indeed fascinating, the line itself stands out because, in tandem with the scenes around it, it condenses so much about the values on display in The Godfather. In the world of the Corleones, family comes before all else, protecting children is imperative, and business is business. Today I'm telling you what happened to Clemenza, the man behind the famous cannoli line. So, let's get started. Peter Clemenza, born in 1889 in Sicily and emigrating to America at a young age, settled in Hell's Kitchen, New York, leaving his brother Domenico behind. There, he became friends with Salvatore Tessio and established a reputation as a ruthless yet charismatic figure in the neighborhood. Despite being of interest to local mob boss Don Fanucci, Clemenza rejected the idea of having a boss and instead focused on mentoring a young Vito Corleone. Vito Corleone and Peter Clemenza formed a friendship after Vito immigrated to the United States. Early on, Vito helped Clemenza by hiding guns for him to avoid detection by the police, and in return, Clemenza helped Vito by stealing a rug for his family, which marked Vito's first introduction to a life of crime. Later on, their roles were reversed when Vito killed Don Fanucci and established himself as the leader of the group. Clemenza was known for being friendly and jovial and had a reputation as a storyteller, which endeared him to Vito. Together with Salvatore Tessio, they sold stolen goods such as dresses and guns as early as 1917, becoming key figures in the Corleone family. Vito kept him close over the years, even making him the godfather to his oldest son, Santino, but this was in part to control his more brutal and ambitious tendencies. During the Olive Oil War, Clemenza was considered a valuable asset to the family, using his street smarts to gather information on enemies, including the feared enforcer Luca Brasi, who ultimately joined the family. Despite being initially suspected of having set up the shooting of Vito Corleone, Clemenza played a crucial role in supporting Sonny during this difficult time. When it was discovered that Paulie Gatto was the true traitor, Clemenza was given the task of eliminating him. Taking the betrayal personally, as he had been responsible for Paulie's rise through the ranks over more experienced and loyal soldiers, Clemenza used trickery to lull Paulie into a false sense of security by driving around with him for a few hours and looking for good sites for the Corleone family to go to the mattresses and the upcoming war. He then ordered Paulie to pull the car over so he could urinate, while Rocco Lampone, who was with them, shot Paulie in the back of the head. Rocco Lampone succeeded Paulie as a button man and as Don Corleone's new driver. When Vito's youngest son Michael offered to kill both Virgil Sollozzo and Captain Mark McCluskey, who was on Sollozzo's payroll, Clemenza taught him how to use a gun and how to reduce the chance of being caught during the murder. The plan was successful, and while Michael was in hiding in Sicily, Clemenza prepared for an all-out war against the remaining four families. As Vito Corleone's most trusted friend, Clemenza was tasked with keeping an eye on his son-in-law, Carlo Rizzi, and the bookmaking operations he owned in Hell's Kitchen. He kept tabs on Carlo through his contact, Sally Rags, who informed him of Sonny Corleone's brutal assault on Carlo in 1946. The war eventually claimed Sonny's life, and Vito returned from the hospital after surviving an assassination attempt. In 1950, Peter Clemenza visited Sicily and met with Michael Corleone to arrange his safe return to America and oversee the safe passage of a family friend, Salvatore Giuliano. He also selected new recruits for the Corleone family in Sicily. During this time, he was briefly reunited with his brother Domenico. However, Giuliano was killed by his friend Gaspare Pisciotta before he could make his escape. Clemenza and Michael were able to safely return to America. In the 1950s, Clemenza and Tessio asked for permission to start their own families, as their territories were being encroached on by Emilio Barzini. Michael told them to wait, and Clemenza reluctantly agreed, but Tessio did not and made a deal with Barzini, which led to his death. Clemenza stayed loyal and personally assassinated Victor Strachey by shooting him as he came out of an elevator during Michael Rizzi's baptism. He also killed Connie Corleone's husband Carlo Rizzi as revenge for his alleged involvement in the murder of Sonny. During a meeting with Michael, Rocco, and Al Neri, Clemenza greets Michael as Don Corleone and kisses Michael's hand, indicating that Michael had fully taken on the role of leader and successor of his family. Clemenza was rewarded for his loyalty and years of service by being given control of the Corleone family in New York City and continuing to run operations from the old Corleone compound. He also acted as an informal advisor for Michael as the family transitioned to a legitimate business. Despite his age, he maintained his sharpness and street smarts and relied on a walking cane. He passed on rumors of his brother Fredo's bisexuality to Michael. In 1958, Clemenza died of a supposed heart attack while at his favorite diner cooking food for his men. He was succeeded by Frank Pantagelli, his loyal lieutenant and longtime friend. Rumors suggested that the Rosado brothers had a hand in his death, but Michael and Tom Hagen dismissed these claims. Some other members, like Willie Cece and Frank Pentangeli, also have a belief that his death could have been unnatural. Clemenza was a man who had a jovial nature that hid his street smarts, and he was quickly recognized as an asset by the young Vito Corleone, who used his violent tendencies for his own gain. Vito attempted to curb these tendencies by naming Clemenza the godfather of his oldest son, Santino, a role that Clemenza took on with great pride and seriousness. He was known for his storytelling and sense of humor, able to make Vito and even the more serious Michael laugh. He passed away after telling a humorous story to his junior associates. Clemenza also acted as an uncle figure to Michael, teaching him how to cook and carry out an assassination properly. Clemenza also confided in Michael and revealed that Vito was proud that he joined the Marines and became a war hero. Initially, Tom Hagen suspected that Clemenza would be the one to betray Michael to Don Emilio Barzini's alliance, but Michael believed that the more cunning Tessio was the real traitor. Clemenza's strongest attribute to the Corleone family was his unwavering loyalty, not his intelligence. Despite any complaints he may have had about Michael, he would never have betrayed the Corleone family. Clemenza was also known for his ability to recognize and cultivate talent, as no fewer than 5 future capos, including Sonny, Rocco, Pentangeli, Richie Nobilio, and Joey Zaza, started their careers under his leadership. Which character from The Godfather was your favorite? Did you read the book too, or just watch the movie? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below.